Was it just on you? The whole time? That's amazing. That's amazing. We like to get up close and personal to our guests. Really, really close.
Yes, very close.
So we zoom right in. But really happy to be here. My name is Will from Toronto Travel Massive. I'm also a travel blogger at Going Awesome Places from Toronto, and really happy to be here. And it's been a great couple days. And really, I guess before we jump into any interviews and things like that, I just thought I'd set the stage for why I'm here and what I'm doing, and talking a little bit about the behind the scenes for what is it like to be at the Berlin Travel Show and really ITB, which happened the past 2 days, and it goes into the weekend as well, but we're going to be focusing on the Berlin Travel Festival for now. So, okay. First things first, if you guys have any questions, make sure you drop a comment. We'll see them come through in the feed. And we're all, of course, live here on Facebook, so engage, ask questions, drop a like, drop an emoji, anything you want, and that's how we do it. We got a lot of fabulous people here from Travel Massive that are helping with the booth, and we'll be talking to some of them later on. Okay, so my story is that I found out about ITB maybe, I don't know, I think last year, probably through T-Bex. And I've heard the name before and didn't really know much about it, but as I was asking more questions about, trade shows and conventions that I should go to, ITB came up, there's WTM in London, there's the New York Times travel show, and so basically as, somebody that's doing this full time and really focused on growing the business, I knew that I had to really put myself out there, and so decided this year was the year that I was going to do this. So January, went to New York Times travel show, that was my first kind of foray into this. Had a lot of meetings, met a lot of people, and from there I decided, okay, should I go to Berlin Travel Festival? And I asked a lot of people, is it worth it? And I think the resounding answer was that ITB is massive. And for somebody that's, that's never been to a show like that, is it, something that I would take a lot out of? I was thinking about this already in January, and at that point a lot of people had already signed up to things like the ITB blogging speed dating session. So I thought it was a little bit too late. But literally, as I was thinking about this 3 weeks ago, I was talking to Travel Dave from the UK, and I was talking to Ian from Travel Massive about thinking about coming down. That's when they really kind of talked me into coming, and literally decided 3 weeks ago that okay, I'm gonna get my tickets. I'm basically going to start planning my meetings and come out here. Hey, how's it going? You want to be on the video?
Why not?
Come on in. We got our first guest. Okay, do you know about Travel Massive?
Well, I wanted to know about you. I just heard about you like a few minutes ago.
Okay, amazing. So, Travel Massive is an incredible kind of community that we have. It's a global organization, but we have incredible chapters in cities all around the world. So I'm from Toronto, so I co-run the Toronto Travel Massive. Where are you from?
I'm from Brussels.
Are you from Brussels?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever heard of Travel Massive at all, other than today?
Yes, I heard of it, but I didn't know what was the concept, so this is why I stopped and I said, okay, this is the moment to know.
Okay, wicked. Not awkward at all that we're on camera here. This is amazing. Okay, so maybe before we jump into that, what do you do?
I'm an Instagrammer.
You're an Instagrammer. Amazing, but you focus on travel, or parts of what you do is travel?
Yes, travel.
Okay. So like I said, Travel Massive is just this incredible community of people that are in these chapters around the world. So Brussels, I think, does have a chapter. I hope. We'll have to check. Is there? In Brussels?
Yes, I think we have a chapter in Brussels, but it's not very active, so you may take over. Who knows?
But whether you're an organizer or just an attendee, I think one of the greatest things about Travel Massive is just it's really a community. It's a community of people that are doing similar things to what you're doing, whether as an Instagrammer, as a YouTuber, or maybe as a blogger. But typically in Toronto, what happens is that we have events once a month. These are events that could be sponsored, they could be social events. Maybe not to this magnitude, but usually we'll meet up at maybe a bar. It could be at a tech startup's office. It could be,
And what do you do? It's just like a hub? Do you gather together like to what? Sorry, my question was like, why do you gather together? Like, is it just because you've got the same interest? Is it a hub, or is it to create something, or what is it?
It's a little bit of everything, but first I'd say it's really it's a hub for people to be able to connect. Like-minded people that are all interested in travel and are in the industry to really get together, meet up, and just talk and meet. And so the most basic type of travel massive meetings are really about, it's a networking event. So a lot of people come together. There might be a specific theme, but it's really like, a whole bunch of people in a room, grabbing a drink and talking about what's been going on in everyone's lives, what's worked well in their business, what do they need help in. And you'll find a lot of people that are either having the same kind of struggles that you might be having, or have been successful in the same ways that you've been successful in. So it's all, a lot of travel bloggers, influencers, like you said, Instagrammers, YouTubers. But on top of that, you get the flip side of things, and that's the travel industry side of things. So not only are you meeting your peers that are doing the same thing in your area, but you also get companies that are close by that are part of the community as well. So in Toronto, we have folks like from Expedia, from Booking.com, from Geoventures. Geoventures is based in Toronto. A lot of folks come out, and you never really know who you're going to meet. And I'd say when I first started travel blogging, I found out about Travel Massive, and I wasn't an organizer back then. I just kind of came and was trying to meet a lot of people, and I realized there was a lot of more people like me. And it's really easy to feel like, and I don't know if you can relate, it's really easy when you're doing your thing, like Instagram, you might not know other people doing it. You feel like you're kind of alone, You have online communities, but like you don't really have other people to really talk to about the challenges, like maybe collaborations and ideas. And when going to Travel Massive, I realized that there were other people like me, and that I could talk about all the things that I've been doing. And I don't know if can you relate with this? Like, as an Instagrammer, when you talk to other friends about what you do, is it hard for them to relate?
Well, it gets more and more easy concerning certain topics, but not concerning everything. When I was telling my parents that I wanted to travel and create content and I would get paid for that, well, they didn't really like it, to be honest. But now it has been 3 years and it's going really well. But then there is like another problem that now is like the image that this industry has can be complicated. But what I like is that I usually organize some meetups. I try to find people and together and to meet, and usually it's all people that love to travel, because my account is about this. So that I really like your concept. I really do.
Yeah, and Travel Massive has been around for a long time. All the chapters have different ages. Everything started in Sydney. Ian over here, he's the founder. He might come by a little later, but he started it in Sydney, Australia. And from there, it really just kind of grew, this passion project, as people kind of spread the word and decided, hey, like, I would love to do something like this in my own city. And so I'm not one of the original founders in Toronno, but we had some incredible people come together, started the chapter. Sorry?
When is your next event?
In Brussels?
Like, no, even here, I'm in Germany at the moment.
In Berlin, that's a good question. Lisa? Or do you know Berlin chapter? When is the next event?
Oh, in April they have a next event about content creating, some kind of a tips.
Okay.
Yes. So you can see the chapter, you can join them. Lisa, Lydia, and Pia are organizing the event, so you can meet them, and I'm sure there will be a lot of content creators as well. So you can meet a lot of.
Are you going to be in the area for the next little bit, or?
Probably. I mean, I'm going and coming back.
Awesome.
I had to speak here, so I just came like this, and it's the first time that I'm coming here. Actually, it's really cool.
Oh, awesome. Oh, so you're a speaker as well?
Yeah.
What are you going to be speaking about?
Well, the influencer marketing, how it's going, how it's evolving, because it's a massive change on the way it has been growing, like on the last years, and and brands want to know how to work with them, and so this is what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I didn't get to properly introduce you earlier. What is your Instagram handle and
Mom, I'm fine.
Okay.
Basically, I travel around the world telling my mom that I'm fine, and so
that's
this
amazing.
is the idea, and I try to do it in funny or scary moments, and then this is the thing.
That's really cool. That's really
Where
cool.
do people find you? Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah,
everywhere?
super simple. Mom, I'm fine on Instagram, or mainly Instagram.
Instagram. The other thing that we do is that Travel Massive actually has its own platform. So extending beyond just the local community events, it's a technology platform as well that digitally all of us can get together. So even though I'm in Toronto, Maria's in Sofia, and we have people from all over the world, we can actually connect through the website. It's
like a platform. You can make a profile. It's not really like a social media because we really appreciate personal contact. So we do the events in different cities.
But you stay in contact like through the website?
Yeah, you can do that. We have a forum. We have Facebook groups as well, but you can see everyone's profile on the website.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool. So make sure you create a profile. It's super easy.
This is Lisa, so she organizes the events in Berlin.
Yes.
So you can get in touch with her.
Awesome. But do you have an event like tonight or something like this?
Yes, we do. Are you
Yes.
registered?
Are you registered?
No, I'm not. But like,
No,
what
but you
is it
will
like?
come. So we have the event at 7 p.m.
Okay.
It is right next building, and this is a VIP pass for you.
Okay,
So
cool. Well,
just use that.
I swear they didn't pay me or anything to do this interview. I swear, I just like I was with my bag and leaving. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that'll get you in.
Awesome.
What time does the event start?
We start at 7 p.m. We have a few surprises. So we have face painting. We also have a paper plane competition
cool.
with prizes from Agoda. So come join us, and you may win some things.
At what time is it?
7 p.m.
I'll be there.
And I heard it's an open bar. It's an open bar, guys. So you definitely want to come. There's a lot of booze tonight.
See you there.
Awesome. It was nice meeting you.
See you.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, we have another special guest. This is awesome. I don't need to do too much talking. Hi, how you doing? I'm Will.
I'm Bryn. Nice to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet you.
Hi.
So tell me about who you are and what you do.
I'm from Where About Now, Travel Experiences Guided by Art. We are a specialized travel platform for contemporary art trips.
Very cool. And where are you guys based out of?
We're based here in Berlin. We have our office in Wedding in the UFA Studios, which is a lovely little place. You guys should definitely come by.
Awesome. So what brings you to the Berlin Travel Festival, and what's your experience been so far?
We really like the Berlin Travel Festival because our idea is also a little bit next to or beyond the regular tourism scope. We try to do everything under the motto slow culture travel. So we like to support local art scenes by opening them up to a larger public, to a larger discussion. And I think that's what's so great about the Berlin Travel Festival. There's so many interesting new concepts surrounding travel that maybe that aren't the big names, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe I can ask you this: how did this all start for you guys? Like the start of your journey to kind of where you are now and into the future. Like, what does that journey look like?
Sure. Well, our founder Nadia, she's also here over in our booth. She started the company about a year and a half ago. She had been working in conceiving of art trips before, and she has a lot of experience that. She grew up in a hotel in Salzburg and comes from the tourism industry. And my background is in urban studies and art history, and so the two of us just have we managed to meld really great with both of our interests. And at first we were doing a lot of just the specific trips for groups, and right now we're kind of redesigning our business model and thinking more about business to business and doing a lot more destination management, helping cities, regions, hotels and cities and regions with concepts that open up the local art scene for the tourists that come to visit.
Okay. Are there specific regions that? Oh, sorry. Are there specific regions that you guys focus on?
We are international. We're all over the world. Right now we've got 2 specific trips. One is to Tbilisi, Georgia, which is a really interesting city. We're doing it in cooperation also a little bit with the Fabricol Hostel, who's here at the festival. And we also have a trip to Los Angeles, which is also super exciting. We've got a really great editor-in-chief of Carla, which is a great art magazine out of Los Angeles, who is helping us there with that trip. So we're open to go anywhere that's a little bit beyond the regular art scene.
And in terms of the tours that you guys run, are they more on a private level, like private groups, or are they with larger groups? What's the typical size of your tours?
Well, it totally depends. We will plan a trip for an office if, or like if a workplace has an excursion that we want to plan, we'll do that as like a bespoke journey. But we'll also take like a group of 12 people. Our open trips are like usually around 12 to 20 people is what we usually aim for. This weekend, for example, we also have a travel in your own city excursion, which is all about the water in Berlin. And we're doing a really great studio visit with an artist, Ute Zaub, in the Uferhain, who does beautiful photographic works of water. And from there, we're going with the ladies from Take Me to the Lakes out to a lake, in Brandenburg. We're going to have the sunset. We're really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really great.
That's amazing. So where can people find out about you? Social media, your website, how they can learn more about everything you guys have to offer?
We are at whereaboutnow.com is our website. You can find everything about us, everything we do there. We're also on Instagram, also at whereaboutnow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for coming by. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Wow. A lot of content coming your way, and let me just check if there have been any comments coming through. Hey Jane, how's it going? Let's put this up. Wow, lots of folks on. This is awesome. Cool. So we're just hanging out here at the Travel Massive booth at the Berlin Travel Festival. Again, my name is Will, if you guys just joined us. We're going to be live for the next couple of hours. We are pretty much at the entrance of the festival. As you can see behind me, there's just so much happening behind us. We got different vendors, we got tour operators, everything from, I don't know, I saw tents in the back, like yurts almost. A lot of great food vendors as well. These are like, in front of us here is like an RV conversion thing, I think. I haven't really had a chance to really go around to check out all the booths, but later on I'll definitely be able to do that.
We have some comments.
Ooh, we have some comments.
Yes.
Awesome. Hello. Oh, hey, Eric. Yes, we met at T-Bex. That's awesome. We got a lot of familiar faces that are on the live or watching the live stream right now. So thank you for joining us. This has been kind of a little fun experiment that we decided to do, and I think it's really cool to give you guys an inside look into what something like the Berlin Travel Festival is like. So again, if you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comments down below, and I'll be here for the next little bit. But in the meantime, I guess I was talking a bit about ITB before we had some special guests join us, and I think ITB's been really awesome for me in really being able to make a lot of connections with people I normally wouldn't meet, even in the Toronto market. It's been a chance for me to have really good meetings and have really good chats about where the industry is. A lot of the DMOs and DMCs, whether they're interested in working with travel bloggers, whether video content is important to them. Those are the type of things I've been really touching on in a lot of the meetings I've had. Again, the whole of ITB has been incredibly overwhelming because of how large it is. There's like 26 different halls at ITB, and if you can put that into perspective, each hall is basically the size of your hometown convention hall. Okay, so multiply that by 26. I learned that there are 180,000 people that come to ITB, which is insane. And I've probably walked over the past 2.5 days something like 50,000 steps. So I've definitely gotten a lot of exercise. I haven't eaten a whole lot, but I've gotten a lot of free coffee and snacks at the different exhibits and halls around ITB. So, and it's been crazy. So deciding 3 weeks ago to come. To get whatever meetings I could and to get out of it really great connections and hopefully a lot of future opportunities have been really the key for me. So is it worth it, especially for somebody coming from North America? I'd say yes, especially as a first timer. You definitely got to do it at least once. And having done it now, I'm thinking, would I come back? And I'd probably say yes, because I would probably approach it a lot differently as a second time. attendee of ITB, because I learned so much in terms of what not to do, what to do. And I talked a bit about this at the live stream that we did yesterday in our room in Berlin. And I think the main thing is really about meetings. Because if you don't set up meetings, it becomes a little bit awkward, because you're just basically going booth to booth, standing around, lurking, and trying to see if there's an opportunity to jump in to have a conversation. I still had to do a bit of that because there were some booths that I really wanted to connect with and be able to talk to their marketing folks. But it was tough because you end up wasting a lot of time. People pretty much have meetings lined up from hour to hour, half hour to half hour. So if you don't catch them at the right time, you're going to be staying there forever. So meetings are definitely key. I learned a few hacks in terms of like how to get from hall to hall a little bit quicker. Planning the meetings and where they are is pretty important, because the hall is so massive, or the ITB is so massive, Messe Berlin, that you really want to make sure you cluster your meetings from one section at a time, so you're not going from here to here to here to here. It really does take almost half an hour, if not more, to get from place to place. So there are a lot of times I was late to my meeting, or I think I blew maybe one or two meetings just because I couldn't make it. So that was kind of shitty. But yeah, it was great in that way. What are some other tips that I have from ITB? Yeah, it was really come in. Yes, I was thinking about this earlier. Really come into ITB with a specific goal in mind. I feel like for me this time, because I was really not that prepared, it was really a shotgun type of approach. I was meeting with basically anybody that would be willing to take meetings that late into the game. I wasn't able to get into the blogger speed dating session that happened yesterday, I believe. So doing that was good because I got a lot of cards. I got to meet a lot of people along the way. But at the same time, I did feel halfway through my ITB experiences that, I was meeting all these people, but what was I going to be doing and getting out of it at the end of the day? And that part I wasn't really sure about because, I was meeting with people from, all over the world. And so, in the next 2 years, 3 years, am I really going to be going to all these different destinations? That was really the big thing that kind of came to my mind. So I think if I were to do it again, I'd really focus on specific regions that I knew I'd be going to, talking to specific companies that I really wanted to make connections with, and really just focusing on that one thing or two things, as opposed to being really scatterbrained and trying to meet with everyone from the Africa region to the North American region to cruise lines to tour operators, the Caribbean, etc. I was really all over the place, and a lot of it was thinking about, okay, which destinations, DMOs and DMCs realistically would be interested in talking to me. As a travel blogger and influencer, it's oftentimes you just have a feeling of, okay, these companies I know are interested in working with bloggers, and there's some other ones that really don't care at all. Hey. Oh, wicked. How's it going? Thanks for coming to our booth.
I'm Fabian. Nice to meet you.
Fabian. I'm Will. We're just doing this impromptu live stream here at the Berlin Travel Festival. Tell me a bit about who you are and what you do.
My name is Fabian. Together with my sister Leonie, I'm here to present our Wakes backpacks.
Okay.
So Wakes is our new brand. We actually presented our prototypes here 1 year ago and then started a crowdfunding campaign in September last year. And now we have produced our backpacks and they're ready to be shipped. So we have all our final products here and started shipping yesterday.
That's awesome.
That's what we're doing.
Okay, so we're talking about physical products here. This really cool backpack. Yes. So show us what you got.
So basically, it's a travel backpack. It fits around 37 liters. But what we noticed, we always have a too big bag or a too small bag. So we wanted a bag that can adjust its volume depending on how much we need to carry.
Yeah.
So in its travel backpack configuration, it's about 37 liters. It fits about 37 liters. But then once you arrive, you can roll down the top and you can zip off the whole bottom part. And then basically this is what's left a normal day pack in the
cool.
20-liter size.
Okay, so the day pack is 20 liters,
Yes, the
and
day pack is 20
so you
liters.
can actually detach this
Exactly.
whole bottom section.
There's a zipper here, and you can detach the whole thing.
Oh, that's really cool.
And basically, you can use this by itself as well. We call it the cube, and you can put an inlay in to use it as a camera bag. It also has an insulating material, so you can use it as a cooler bag.
Oh, wicked. So there's actually a strap system built in to the bottom cube system that you can use on its own.
You can attach the straps and put it over your shoulder.
And what are some of these other zippers that I'm seeing on the side? I see a couple compartments here.
So we wanted to have a really functional backpack, but at the same time we wanted to have a clean aesthetic. So you won't find anything on the front. We moved everything to the back and to the sides. On the sides we have 2 pockets for things like bottles, umbrellas, anything you want quick access to from the side. And on the back side we have a few quick access pockets for example, for phone, wallet, passport, anything that you would like to access quickly but don't want other people to access.
Okay, awesome. And what about the material that you guys use for this backpack?
It is mainly made from recycled plastic bottles. So it is a synthetic fabric, but it looks and feels quite natural. And it also has a water repellency coating so that you're fine to use it in the rain.
Okay, wicked. How long did it take to design this bag? You must have gone through a lot of iterations.
Yeah, so it was probably, if you count the whole period, it would be 2 to 3 years and many, many prototypes, because it has a few features that have not been developed like this before, and we tried out different solutions, and first many of them didn't work, but we kept going, and then step by step we came to what it is now, and now it works really well.
Okay. Well, maybe we can step back in time a little bit. How did this passion come about? How did you guys decide as founders that you guys were going to tackle this project and create a backpack?
Yeah.
What's the story behind all that?
So we are both German, but we lived in Australia for quite a while. Leonie studied there, and I traveled there and worked there. We were always traveling a lot. So we had basically 2 different needs. I was really looking for something very minimalistic and very functional, because I wanted to downsize a lot and wanted basically one bag. I want to own one bag that's good for anything I'm up to. And Leonie, she has a background in fashion, and she's very interested in fashion as well. And she always had the problem that she had beautiful bags, but they were usually quite useless and quite uncomfortable. So we wanted to find something that that has a really nice aesthetic and doesn't make you look like you want to climb a mountain or so, but brings the comfort of like a top outdoor gear backpack. Okay. So we basically came from different angles and tried to put this into one product, and this is what came out of it.
What would you say was the biggest challenge, this whole process, building a new product from scratch?
So first thing is we were new to this, so we had to learn so much just in terms of the materials, the vocabulary you use in the design process, working with the manufacturer and so on. The biggest challenge was probably getting this cube right so that it's able to carry the weight that comes from top, and at the same time make it easy to attach and detach. And another part that was really hard was to detach the back panel. You see this has a proper back padding and weight distribution, but you can also detach everything to convert it into a really light and slim version.
Okay. Does that mean that you could, another reason why you would want to take this off is if you were to check it in, is that part of the consideration at all?
No, you don't need it for that. It's more that you want something lighter and slimmer, and in a lighter and slimmer look, that you would say we detach this and put some simple straps on there.
What did you learn about the manufacturing process? Like, what was that? That must have been overwhelming in terms of figuring out, like, how do you source materials? How do you find a factory that's actually going to make these and do your trial production runs and things like that? How did that go?
Yeah, we were actually, in hindsight, we were really lucky. First, we got introduced to a manufacturer by a friend, and we did the first mock-up there, and then we found another manufacturer who has a lot of experience in the German auto industry, and he basically liked our project, and I think he liked us a bit, and he just wanted to help us. So he said, I give you access to my sample room team, and you can develop it together with them. So that was a big advantage we had. Then what was hard, finding materials, and there we basically went on trade shows and tried to look through hundreds of fabric books to find what we needed.
I can imagine.
And it's just, it meant a lot of work and a lot of time went into that, but eventually we got there.
Because I'm a photographer as well, something that I'm really that I look at when I'm looking for backpacks is quick access to camera gear and things like that. How can I do that here? If I have, let's say, a mirrorless camera with a few lenses, how do I quickly get to my stuff?
The cube here we have an accessory for this camera inlay, which you can use the cube for many things. Right? It is insulated. You can use it as a cooler bag. You can use it to carry shoes or wet stuff separated from the main compartment, but you can also use it as a camera bag when you put this cube inlay in there. And it's quite sturdy from the outside and quite soft on the inside, so it's well protected. The lid is strong as well, so that whatever is up here doesn't damage your camera gear. And you can take it off, right? You can take this cube separately as a camera bag. However, I have to admit, while you're carrying the backpack, right, you would have to take off the backpack to access it, right? You can't get to it while it's on your back.
Got it. And I've been wanting to ask you, how did you guys come up with the name? Am I pronouncing it right? Wakes? Wakes. How did you guys come up with the name?
Basically, it was we had associations like ways and journey and waves. And then we were thinking about, and it was more like a creative process, and we kind of liked the sound of it and how it was written, and that's where we ended up with. But there's I would say, no clear, deeper meaning to it.
Okay. And one of my other questions I wanted to ask, how was the whole Kickstarter process? That's where you guys really got the word out and was able to fund the project. How was that process?
So basically, I was on Kickstarter for many years already supporting projects because I thought it's a great thing, and I found good things there, and I like being a part of these things and see how also witnessing the struggles that creators go through and how some of them fail and some of them make it, and to learn what needs to be, what you need to prepare to make sure it works out well.
Yes.
And almost all of the ones I supported delivered, but most of them were late. So I thought, okay, I want to really try that we are not going to be late, right? Yeah. That we are properly prepared. And that meant only going live once you're ready, right? Once you have all your materials, once you have a production sample, once you have your manufacturer, once you have your financing options sorted. And then also you need to do a bit of pre-marketing to make sure that you have enough buzz at the start. So we did all that, and then it worked out. And we were also, you need to be a little bit lucky, right? So that, because there's so many suppliers involved, if just one of them fails and doesn't deliver for some reason, then
you're behind. Yeah, you're behind schedule.
Right? But we were lucky and we made it when we started shipping out. We said we're gonna ship in March, and we started shipping yesterday. So
congratulations, that's really awesome. So for those of you that are watching, if they want to learn more about the backpack, they want to learn about pricing and things like that, where should they go to find you and find more information about the product?
Our website, wakes.com. That will be WAYKS.com. And find anything, and if there are any questions, just email us.
And to give us an idea, so for this bag, what's the price?
This is 289 euros, and then we have a few accessories that you can buy on top. You can just pick the ones you want and pay separately for them, or you can buy the whole bundle for 349.
Okay. And even though with the Kickstarter over, you can buy the bags now. You don't have to be part of the Kickstarter
no, the
backing.
Kickstarter is done, and we now have items in stock, and if you order now, we can ship them next week.
Okay, sweet. Well, thanks for dropping by. Like, this is really amazing what you guys have done and put together. I think it's a really cool backpack. And I have so many backpacks at home. It's just like adding another one for like things I want to get. But thanks for coming along.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Yeah. Best of luck. Best of luck. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
See ya. Hello. Hey guys, how's it going? Well, we did say we were going to chat at some point, right. Keith.
You didn't tell me it was going to be live.
Yeah, I hid that fact. But if you want, do you guys want to talk about what you guys are up to and?
Sure. Should we do it together? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we got some special guests here. We have Keith here from Velvet Escape,
Yes.
and iAmbassador, and we have Marco.
Marco from Life is a Trip.
Life is a Trip. So tell me about why you guys are here, a little bit about yourselves, and what's your experience been so far at Berlin Travel Festival and ITB as well, I guess.
Yeah, well, ITB has been a fixture in my calendar for the past 10 years. So this is my first year at Berlin Travel Festival, and it is so refreshing. I'm geeking out with some of the stuff that I'm seeing here. So I think that's really cool. It's like a breath of fresh air. I mean, it's very chill. But I'm meeting a lot of really interesting people. I've had some really good meetings as well this morning. So I'm happy. Yeah.
Well said. It's something completely different than ITB. I've been going to ITB for 7 years also, and it's, I mean, as useful as it is, sometimes it's quite old-fashioned. And here you find like more modern brands, and it's just more for the eye, I think.
Yeah.
And you just roam around, and you get a lot of inspiration. I love it.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys currently up to right now? Like, what is the big project that you are doing in the next 2 months, 3 months that you want to share with everyone else on Travel Massive?
Yeah. Well. From our iAmbassador perspective, we've got a couple of campaigns coming on in the next couple of months. We'll be launching the dates for our new Blogville campaign, which runs every year as well in Emilia-Romagna in Italy, and we're basically using ITB and the Berlin Travel Festival to also get the word out about the Social Travel Summit, which is our annual conference, which is going to be held in Ravenna, Italy this year in September. Yeah,
that's really cool. We'll get back to that in a bit. How about you?
I'm preparing for a big trip along the Silk Road. I'm going with a few people for 3 months from south of Germany to Hong Kong in July probably. It's going to be an epic adventure, I think, and
that sounds epic.
Still trying to find ways of how to report about it. Definitely want to make a book out of it, but there's going to be a lot of video and text content as well.
Okay, so on that, are you traveling as a group or just on your own?
Well, in this case, it's a bit different. Normally, I'm an individual traveler, but for this project, I joined with a few adventurers who have the cars and all the equipment and stuff. They took me in, kind of, to report about the whole thing. So it's a win-win, I think, for both ends, for both sides.
And for this journey that you're on, is it a pretty rigid structure? You know exactly where you're going to be going along the Silk Road, or is it going to be a lot of kind of fly, see your pants kind of thing, figure things out?
It's a good question. It's kind of a mix of it. I think for some stretches we have the hotels or like the campgrounds lined up, but there's always like a little flexibility in between. So there's enough room for adventure, I think.
Amazing. Okay. So on to Social Travel Summit. I know that was the big announcement that at your party 2 days ago. So tell us a bit about that and kind of why Travel Massive members should be coming and thinking about Social Travel Summit.
So the Social Travel Summit is basically a gathering of professional travel influencers and the industry, and the idea was born about 6-7 years ago when we saw that there was this big divide between the tourism industry and bloggers and influencers sort of coming up, and a lot of misunderstandings of how to work together. And so we basically came up with the summit to bring these two parties together to try and bridge that gap. And I think we've been doing a really good job. There have been a lot of very innovative collaborations that have been coming up in the past couple of years, and also a greater understanding on both sides of how to work together. So so it's basically bloggers and industry people getting together, having a great time, having some really good conversations, and creating some really cool stuff as well through the years.
So basically a must-go event if you're a content creator.
Oh, absolutely. We cap the number of delegates at the Social Travel Summit. So for bloggers, they're invited, so they have to apply, and then and then they get an invitation. And we cap that at 50, 55. The total number of delegates for the whole conference is 150. We capped that at 150. To keep it small so that we can keep the discussions going easily as well, and that everyone has an opportunity to meet with one another, sit down and have a quiet conversation, and so that the whole thing is about having quality conversations with quality people.
Amazing. Okay, so to close things out, tell the audience like where they can find you to learn more about the projects that you're doing, the travels that you're doing, social media, all that stuff. Go ahead.
Well, for me, it is lifeisatrip.com. That's always with a dash, so life is, but minus is, minus a, blah, 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 yeah. And on social media, it's always lifeisatrip.com on all the social media. Yeah.
As for me, I wear two hats, so blogger hat on. My blog is Velvet Escape. It's a luxury travel blog, velvetescape.com. And it's Velvet Escape across Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, you name it. And then the other hat, which is agency hat, and that's iAmbassador and iAmbassador.net. And you can find us on Twitter as well as iAmbassador.
Okay.
And Facebook. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming along. It's great to be able to chat with you guys. Yeah, it was great.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Thanks, Will.
All right. Take care, guys.
Oh, can I have one of those? That's what I came here
yes.
for.
I approve now. So
You
what-
approved
yeah.
already.
Do we have the right color? Yeah.
You are registered for the event tonight?
Yeah. So, blogger, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Excellent.
See, we have 49
Yeah, no problem.
members.
All
These are
right.
the industries that they're from.
Okay, because I want to know, like, we have like a lot of hotels there.
All right. Wow, that was a lot of fun. We've had a lot of cool guests, some celebrities as well along the way, and
We just launched,
yeah, we got 6 people watching here.
so we have one.
It's been a lot of fun here at the Berlin Travel Festival. Hopefully, you've been able to see some of the action, maybe some familiar faces come in and out as they're walking through the show floor. Again, we are at the Travel Massive booth, so make sure if you're coming to the Berlin Travel Festival to come visit us. We're pretty much right at the entrance, and I'm just sitting here live streaming the whole thing and talking to you guys, which is really fun. I forgot to ask. One thing I want to do for my next set of interviews is really ask a really weird question, just like what is, I don't know, your favorite cheese or something like that. So maybe we'll do that for the next one that comes along.
So you run this.
It's been tough to kind of catch up to any of the questions along the way, but if I see any, I'll make sure I answer your questions. But yeah, I guess I will just continue along my story about ITB. Yeah, so I talked to you guys about a few of the tips that I've learned and things that I picked up along the way at ITB. There's really not a whole lot of time for eating. I think I skipped most of my lunches unless I had a meeting where food was involved. For example, Booking.com this afternoon, we had a meeting, but they offered a ton of food. Risotto, smoothies, sandwiches. Yeah, a lot of great food. So that was kind of an exception. For most of it, it's just been pretty much eating snacks that you can take from different booths. Maybe grab a coffee. I brought a lot of granola bars just in case. So that was really good. And definitely bring water. Water is key because you're going to be talking so much the entire time out there, and so I had one full, almost like a liter and a half bottle of water.
Okay, so you want to hear?
We have a someday I recognize Dave here, Travel Dave. Yeah,
Is it going to be here? Okay.
I don't know what else to talk about.
I can give you.
Is there? I'm gonna just go through.
Okay.
Is there somebody coming?
Okay.
Oh, a few minutes? Okay. I will continue rambling as I expertly do. I'm just going through some of the comments that you guys have left behind. Awesome. We got South Africa here. Kara. Oh, you guys got to come to the next event. Is there a specific destination you're wondering about, Kara, in terms of Travel Massive?
Sounds cool.
Let me
I
know.
think we can actually
Got a lot of fans here, I can tell. Go Keith. And go Marco, yeah.
Okay. What was your name again? Maria.
All right. Thank you guys for dropping comments. I will ask. I will be asking people's favorite cheese. That's definitely got to be on the docket for the next interviews that I do. Thank you. But if you come to our booth, we got really cool stickers. Different colors now too. We got black ones. We got pink ones. We got purple ones as well. And some of you guys might know, Travel Massive is hosting a big party tonight. If you've signed up and registered, you can get your wristbands here. I got a few here for as an organizer. What do the colors mean?
The green one is for the VIP, so you're a VIP.
I am clearly a VIP.
The red one is for the content creators, and the black one are just in general.
So if you're a content creator, you're going to be getting a red one, and black is
just in general, people
for
working.
general folks that coming by that might want to come to our event. So come on by, grab your wristbands, and that'll kind of expedite the process of you getting into the party. Did I mention there's free booze? It's an open bar, so there's no reason for you guys to not come, okay? It's going to be a fun event. It's definitely going to be a fun event. So yeah, this has been fun. I really wish I've had more time to explore Berlin. I think that's one of the things coming to ITP and BTF, Berlin Travel Festival, is that you really don't get a chance to see much of the city. We got our next special guest. Super chill. You won't even notice that the camera's there because it's so tiny or whatever. So nice to meet you. I'm Will.
Hi, I'm Sophie from
Sophie?
G Adventure.
You're from G Adventures?
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh, from my hometown. So I'm from Toronto.
Oh, wow.
And
I haven't been yet.
You haven't been yet?
But that's where our main office is, yes.
Which office are you in right now?
I'm in the Gate, and that is the Berlin office. And actually, tomorrow it's our 1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary. That's incredible.
1 year in Berlin. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me a bit about what G Adventures has been up to for a while. I feel like I see you guys all the time back home in Toronto, but I think for a lot of folks that are out here on the Travel Massive live stream that they might not know as much about G Adventures as I do. So tell me what you guys are doing.
All right. Well, we are a small group adventure travel tour operator, and we send people everywhere in the world, and they travel with us in small groups that are, so the guides speak English, so that can be people from all over the world, and we send them on amazing trips that change their lives. But the other thing is, it also changes the lives of the people, the local people and the local communities where we send them, because we put really an accent on sustainable travel on the social side. And that has been the case since the beginning of G Adventures, which was in 1990. And that was when Bruce Poon-Tip, which you may know of, he has been a pioneer in the travel industry, pushing for sustainable travel, because he noticed how damaging sometimes tourism can be for the local communities, or how sometimes the money that comes in from the travelers doesn't actually stay in the local communities. And this is definitely one of the key aspects of our travels.
Is there an example of an area where you have given back, like the certain projects that you can talk about?
For example, one of my personal favorites is Women on Wheels. And it's a project that we developed with Planetera, which is this organization, non-profit organization that we work with, and that it's pretty much part of our group. And so they found a local organization in Delhi, and they helped some women, train them to be drivers. And these women are now our airport pickup service. And that has a double advantage, because we have a lot of single or women, or women traveling alone who come with us. And when they land at the airport, it's a little bit overwhelming. They're on their own, and it's always nice to be picked up. Sometimes they feel safer being picked up by a local woman rather than a local man. But most importantly, for these women in Delhi, it gave them a lot of self-confidence, and they bring money to the family, and that gives them decision power in the family decisions, which they didn't have before. So it's quite a nice project, because it helps everyone.
And that's quite fitting, because you know what day it is today, right?
Today is International Women's Day.
And I got a pin here that says
celebrating her.
Celebrating her here.
Yes. And it's the first time that it's holiday, bank holiday here in Berlin.
It is. So yeah, I just found out about this yesterday. So what is the holiday here in Germany literally International Women's Day holiday, or is it something else?
What happened is Berlin is, so Germany has different regions, and each region can decide on their own functioning. And Berlin was the only land, so the only region in the country that had 1 day less of bank holidays than the rest of the country. And so I think it's been 5 years, but they've discussed extensively which day should we pick to equalize the number of bank holidays. And Berlin, being the progressive city that it is, has picked International Women's Day to be the extra bank holiday for Berlin. So the rest of Germany is actually not on holiday today.
Oh, okay.
Just Berlin is celebrating women.
You guys are the special
on another
ones.
level. Yeah.
That's awesome. So in terms of the tours that you guys offer right now for 2019 and into the future, what are some of the new things that you guys are bringing to the table?
Right. Well, in 2018 we launched wellness tours because that's something that has been requested quite a bit. So these are tours that are a little bit slower paced, and you have the option to do yoga. You go to terms. So you can go to India and have a special sort of local treatment, wellness. So this is definitely something that I'm going to try soon. Although I'm not very good at yoga, but they told me, I mean, from what I've heard, you don't have to have a big level. It's kind of acceptable for all levels or for anyone who kind of wants to try. Another thing that we launched is National Geographic's family journeys. So we're opening and creating some tours that will be open for families with children from 7 years old, because the rest of our tours were more for children from 12 years old. So the National Geographic's cooperation will be very nice for families who want to really show their children from a young age culture and really experience the world in a really better way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the last thing is tailor-made, which is the option for people to come to us with special requests, or if they like a tour but they want to make some amendments, or if they have something in mind, then we will cater for that need. So it's brand new, so I'm very excited to see what people come up with.
So you can literally approach the adventures right now and have some crazy idea for a trip. It could be around the world, it could be a very specific region. They come to you guys and you guys put something magical together, I presume.
Exactly. That's the objective anyways.
Okay. Last question. What have you thought about Berlin Travel Festival so far? Were you part of ITB? Did you kind of see the differences between the two? Like, what has your thoughts been so far?
Right. Well, I haven't had the time to go to ITB yet because it's been so busy here today. I'm very surprised to see so many people turn out today. And everybody's really friendly, interested. There's lots of interesting discussions going on about, women empowerment, but also sustainable travel. I mean, it's been really a pleasure to have people come and really talk to us about this, and really interesting. And I heard ITB is, well,
it's intense.
Yeah, I know that the rest of my team is definitely working very hard there as well, so I'll try to go and see them tomorrow.
Okay, so I promise I'd be asking a random question, but what is your favorite cheese?
Oh, that's a tough one, because I'm half French, so I don't know if you can ask a French person what their favorite cheese is. It's like, I don't know, but if I had to choose, I would say I would pick goat's cheese, but like the one that's like in a kind of a sausage shape, or like a round one.
Yeah, in a cylinder kind of packaging.
Exactly, and because the best you can do is just put it on some bread and then grill it in the oven, and then and then a little bit of honey, a little bit of mustard. That's
okay.
That's the thing.
I will definitely have to take up on that. Awesome.
Okay,
well, thank you so much. It was great meeting you.
See you later.
Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, we got questions. Whoa, Alicia from Vancouver, how's it going? All right. biggest event. So Kara is asking, we're based in Glasgow, but would love to travel to the next Travel Massive event. Which one would you say is your biggest event? Also, we're looking to work with more travel ambassadors. Who's your favorite travel influencer for 2019? A lot of great questions here. Awesome. Alicia's talking about G Adventures, and yes, they're very awesome. I don't know. I need your help here. No. So biggest event in the world. If you were to travel to somewhere for a Travel Massive event, where would you travel to? And I guess not including something like this, which is pretty huge. But is there like a specific chapter that, really big events? I mean, Toronto Travel Massive does some decent ones, so I got to throw that one in there. But
I think the point is that we have so many events, but they're local ones. So I think it just depends where are you close to. And you can just go on the platform on travelmassive.com, and then you can just see all of the upcoming events and decide where do you want to join, which one do you want to join, because also many of them have different topics, different talks happening. So I think that will be the best thing to do.
Yeah, that's true. Using the platform as a way to just search and find what are the upcoming events. I think that's one of the nice things about the platform, where yes, you could travel really far away to attend an event, but also find a lot of really great local ones that you get to where you don't necessarily need to travel a long distance for. And I think another thing to look for is just, what are you looking for in terms of an event? Is it a social mixer type event that you're interested in, or are you looking to learn something very specific? For example, in a couple days, actually, next week, Toronto Travel Massive is running a workshop. We have some big YouTubers, Kristen and Sia of Hopscotch around the globe. I probably got that name wrong. They're hosting a workshop in Toronto at the YouTube space, talking all about YouTube and creation of video and video as a video content creator. So events like that could be worth traveling out to, but they're very specific. They're smaller scale events in that case. But I'd look out for, if you're looking for a really, really big one, something like this would have been amazing to come out to. I know you weren't able to come out, Kara, but it's an events like this where, another reason why I really came out here that really cemented my decision 3 weeks ago to come all the way from Toronto to Berlin was the fact that everyone was going to be here, right? I knew Travel Massive was hosting a big event, and just the Travel Massive community is so huge that I knew that a lot of folks are going to flock over to Berlin. So tonight's going to be a great opportunity to see everybody. I know a lot of people have been on wait lists. It's that big of an event. I've seen so many familiar faces. You've seen a few come in with the interviews, and that just gives you a sense of just how massive the Travel Massive community is. So hopefully that answers your question, but if it didn't, definitely ask more questions in the live stream. So things are quieted down a bit. We got this really cool camera here. It's called a Mevo, and you can do interesting pans and things like that. I'm just trying to play around with this. I'm really zoomed in on my face, and you can basically move where the camera is focused on, which is kind of neat. And we literally picked this up a few days ago. I think Ian ordered it on Amazon, and it arrived at some office somewhere, and we put it together yesterday. So I'm moving the camera around, and it's capable of 4K, although Facebook, I realized with Facebook live streaming, you can only do 720p. So that's kind of how that works. And if you haven't noticed yet, this little microphone is really for a DSLR. It's got the mount there, so this is kind of our makeshift microphone. And we went to a random tech store here in Germany. I think it was called Saturn, actually. So it was a pretty big store, like very much like a Best Buy back home. So yeah. Anyways, I'm having a little bit too much fun here. You sure you don't want to be interviewed?
No, don't do that.
Oh man, so
I can join you. Maybe we can give a shout out to some of the people who are coming to the event tonight. website?
Yes, let's do that. Shoutouts.
Yeah, of course, why not? So we have this page for the event on Travel Massive, and the best thing is that people who are coming have profiles actually, so we can stalk and we can see which bloggers, which travel companies are coming, and then we can just go to the event and introduce ourselves. I don't know. So let's see, who do you want to stalk today? I don't know.
Oh, so many people.
Oh, we have so many. Oh, Mochileros TV. That's okay. Loso Lopez, director of Mochileros TV. I've heard this guy.
Yes,
They're pretty
I've never met him in person.
Me too.
But I've seen him. I've seen through Facebook. There's so much of that happening here.
They are big, I think. So they're coming tonight, so we can meet them in person finally. Hello. I will just follow you, Losu. So if you see me on Travel Massive, Maria, just know that that's me. What else we can talk about? Also, we have the chapter leaders of Slovenia coming, Maya and Tina. So if you're interested in Slovenia, maybe you can talk more about with them. Yeah, there are so many people coming. The good thing is that you can go to the website and just see everyone's profile pictures and websites and just decide who do you want to meet, or just come without any expectations and mingle.
And I think the Travel Massive platform had a bit of an update. Last week or this week.
Yes. I think we did the update a couple of days ago. So it's just not anything big like a change, but it just works more smoothly. Let's say we have a very good footer with all the useful links, and you can find all the information there. So
we got a footer.
Yeah, we have the yay for footers.
Footers are important.
They are. We have this new button, I'm feeling lucky. Maybe you've heard about it. So if you click the button, I'm feeling lucky, you will stumble upon a random profile, random person, so we can actually see people from different countries. So this is Joanne, I just clicked the button, and Joanne is from Queens. So yeah, she's in the hospitality sector. So if you need a person from Queens working in hospitality, that's your person, I guess. I'll just follow her. I'm just talking people.
That's awesome. I didn't know we had a I'm feeling lucky filter or a feature, but I'm learning things as we go along here as well. I don't know if you noticed, but the logo has not the design hasn't changed, but we got some color splashed into the logo now.
It is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of got shades of purple and pink as well.
It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, so if you guys have feedback about the website and, playing around with it, checking out some of the new features, the navigation, I think at Travel Massive, we always take your feedback pretty seriously, so just drop us a line, and I know Ian always making changes and tinkering the platform, so.
I'm really just talking people because it's very interesting to meet different people from the travel industry all over the world. So this one is from Barcelona. What is she working on? PR and consulting services in tourism. Paloma. Hello, Paloma. I guess we'll see you tonight. Yep. That's pretty cool. I like it. So Will, what are you most excited about tonight?
I don't know, just letting loose a little. I feel like, these past 3 days have been, or 2.5 days, have really been really intense. I haven't had a whole lot of sleep either, and I don't know, it's just like meeting after meeting and just walking from place to place. I feel like I've really had a time to have, a breather, or just really chat with people. I mean, there was the party that we had Monday night with iAmbassador and Travel Dudes. But yesterday was figuring out this camera, and it's kind of like a little bit of weights lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to think about all these meetings that I have coming up. No more meetings. We're just doing Travel Massive, and we're just gonna, hang out with everyone that made it all the way out here to Berlin. I think it'll just be fun, and plus it's open bar, so I always look forward to open bar.
Just be careful. The open bar is only until 9:30.
So drink a lot until 9:30. That's the trick. I mean, what about you, Maria? Like, how has ITB and BTF been for you? And like, I think you said this is your first second
first Berlin Travel Festival. Yeah.
Okay, so second ITB, first BTF, and really this is actually the second year BTF has been a thing. So it's a relatively new event. But yeah, what's been your whole couple days been like?
Well, I'm really most excited about the things that are happening around Travel Massive because I started to be more involved in it like a few months ago.
And before we talk about that, I'll let you introduce yourself. Who are you?
you?
Because I know some people probably joined the live stream a little bit late, so I apologize. I didn't do a proper introduction. But yes, this is Maria.
Hello guys. So yes, let's start from the back to yeah. I'm Maria Stoyanova. I'm from Bulgaria, Sofia, Bulgaria. I'm doing the chapter event in Sofia. We are actually having one on 12th of March, so right after I come back from Berlin, I will do the event. I'm also doing the content marketing on Travel Massive, so blog interviews, social media, newsletters, and so on, and keeping the community engaged, let's say. So yeah, it's my second ITB. I was most excited to meet as many chapter leaders and members of Travel Massive as I can. And I'm also excited about the event tonight. So we are going to have a pretty cool tribal experience, I can say, yes. So with face painting and stuff. So
I don't know about any of this, but
see, I'm excited about that. Yes.
That's cool. And we kind of talked about this yesterday at our impromptu live stream, but ITB for you. So this is the second year. Obviously, your focus is a little bit different because coming to ITB, your focus is really mostly on Travel Massive angle of things. But in general, how was it like the second time around? Do you feel like coming to ITB a second time is different than your first time? Like, do you have a different strategy or like things that you learned?
Yeah, I think it's pretty different. So first time you're so overwhelmed, you didn't expect to see. Yep, you didn't expect the venue to be so big. So you're like, yeah, I had an idea in my mind, but it's not what I expected. So my first time was like this as well. I mean, I was walking into halls, having no idea what I want to do. I had some meetings lined up that I was like, rushing for. So I was, this year, if I didn't have a goal or specific meetings for Travel Massive to attend to, I don't think if I would come here, because you really need to have some purpose in mind to to just know what you're doing.
Yeah, and I talked about that earlier. I don't know if you guys were on the stream maybe an hour ago, but I did feel like this time coming around that because I decided so last minute and I got so many random meetings that there wasn't a whole lot of focus in that I was all over the place, destinations from all over the world. A lot of them were places I was interested in, but I wasn't really sure exactly how all of these meetings were going to piece together in terms of my blog and how that would, potentially lead to work and things like that. So I had kind of this weird epiphany in the middle where like, oh my gosh, I don't know how this is all going to work for me. And yeah, that was like one of the big things I learned.
So do you know what you will do differently next time if you come again to ITB?
I think for next time, like you said, a lot more planning. So one other tip that I got from somebody that I met at ITB is taking the list of exhibitors from this year and use that as a guide for next year. So since I have the full list of everyone that was at ITB this year, in preparation for next year, I can reach out to the ones that I want to meet with. Doing it so last minute, most people already had all their whole calendar pretty much filled up and booked. So a lot of them ended up having to be impromptu, like literally stalking them and trying to catch 10 minutes of their time. I'd prefer not to do that next time around. Strategically just pick the right people, have really effective meetings, not waste time lingering around, and just do the ones where I know I'm going to get the most value in that, okay, next year I know I'm going to be doing a trip to X. I should focus on just that destination, as opposed to today I was in the Africa section, yesterday I was in the Italian section, and
Instagram stories.
They have gelato, so I definitely need to be there. And there's coffee, so so free food does kind of lead to how there's different approaches to ITV. I feel like you could come to ITV for just free stuff and free food, and that could lead you down a different path. There was definitely popcorn. There's definitely a lot of popcorn.
There is one famous messenger Facebook chat for free food and drinks at ITB, so that's kind of a secret thing, but if you want a hint, you can find us.
Yeah.
But another practical tip that I thought about is that you should take the ITB app and you should load the map and use the map because it tracks your location and you can easily navigate through the whole huge venue and get an extra battery or charger. So it's very important.
One of these things. Yeah, for sure.
Yay, come join us. Okay, it's your turn.
Hey, what's up? Are you coming in?
Coming into what?
For an interview.
Yeah, sure.
So,
hello.
We have a special guest here. This is.
Oh, there's a camera. Oh, hey.
There's actually a camera here, so this is legit.
Yeah.
So, Michael, how's it going, man?
Nice. Nice to meet you again.
Good to see you again. Yeah. So I know Michael all the way from Finland. So last year I decided randomly again to go to this festival called Ping Festival in Helsinki.
I also went there really randomly.
Random.
So random.
I think we're two peas in the pod in just doing random things in the industry, but
that's always the best thing.
That's the best way to go.
That's the best results.
Exactly.
Like at ITV, I just randomly go somewhere, the best things happen. Like
exactly.
Today,
you just never know.
I was at the stand Kingdom of Lesotho.
Okay.
Did you ever hear about this?
No, I don't even know.
I went there and I just talked to like the minister of something there, and I had to Google where it is. It's in the middle of South Africa, basically.
Okay.
And
Lesotho.
Yeah.
Okay.
You went there?
No, I've never been, but I've seen it on the map.
Yeah, now this random guy was like, "You have to visit us. Can you come next week?" I was like, "Whoa." It looks really nice there.
That's cool.
That was also random.
Yeah.
Like we met.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's where we met, and then we didn't see each other at T-Bex. We didn't see each other at T-Bex, and we stayed in touch this whole time. And then I found out that you were coming to ITB, and so it's been cool to hang out.
And you came all the way from Canada.
Yeah, I came all the way from Canada. The crazy guy.
You're more crazy actually now.
A little bit. So how's I guess we've just been doing this live stream as part of Travel Massive.
Yeah.
You know about Travel Massive now because we've talked to you about it quite a bit.
I'm now Travel Massive content
this guy has 2 wristbands, so he's legit. Okay, so we're talking about just ITB, Berlin Travel Festival, and all that. I mean, how's it been for you?
Really exhausting. Like, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Second thing, amazing to meet all the people. And third thing, a lot of opportunities. Like you meet brands, you meet tourism boards, other bloggers. It's just perfect to connect. It's so big.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm also exhausted. Probably you too.
Very tired.
I can see it.
I'm very tired.
Me too. I'm like, my feet are hurting.
Oh yeah, bring good shoes. That is
not
also a #1 tip as well.
I would show it, but I'm not that flexible.
Yeah, so so it was tiring. You had a lot of meetings.
Yeah, especially on the first day. Like
on the first
8
day.
hours in a row.
8 hours in a row. Did you had meetings today as well?
Yeah, like 5.
5 meetings. This man is very productive. And sorry, I should properly introduce you. So tell everyone that's watching right now who you are, where they can find you,
Maybe I should
and I
show
have
my
other questions for you
business
later
cards.
on. You can show you can show your business card.
Here, the sneaky move #1.
Somewhere there.
That's where you can find me. And what should I should just say something about myself?
Well, people always ask you where are you from.
Yeah, so I'm from the best country, Switzerland.
This is a Swiss
That's
man.
True, it's true. I said Switzerland is the best country.
You don't agree.
Just say yes.
What is the best country?
What? You have to say it here. You have to say it to the mic.
Turkey is the best country.
Hayır. No. Not true. No, and what I do is the same like you, basically. I blog, and I do photography. We do the same thing actually.
We do.
Just you do it longer than me.
A little bit.
You're better in blogging.
I don't know about that. We're all
Or
trying
you're more
to figure
experienced
things
in
out. What was the? I don't know the. Well, we've been talking about tips, but like, is there any specific tips that you have for anybody coming or thinking about ITB?
ITB? Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Because it makes a big difference. Like if you have a lot of meetings scheduled, you see big results, and if you just walk around like an idiot.
I was that idiot.
Yeah. On the first day, I did this for some hours. You just get exhausted, no real results.
Yeah.
But if you're prepared, really good.
And have you had a chance to walk around Berlin Travel Festival?
No, we just arrived. We came in here and I saw you.
He literally arrived
You're
and
the
wanted to
first
chat with
person-
me. That's how good buddies we are.
That's why I have the red man.
Yeah, that's why he's the man. He's the travel master man.
I'm dedicated.
Dedicated. Okay, so you're coming to the party tonight.
Yeah, when is it? At 7?
So it's at 7 o'clock. It's open bar until
And we have two of them, so
9:30.
We are VIP.
So you guys are ready?
Yeah.
You guys are ready?
She's also coming. Yeah.
You're coming to the party.
Yeah. That's why Ian gave me these.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You got the 2 wristbands, so I think you are all set.
How long are you doing this live?
This has been.
You do it the whole evening?
I have no idea. How long have we been doing this live stream for? Couple hours?
Oh, really?
Wow.
Well, you are dedicated.
That's
man.
why I am feeling pretty exhausted. An hour and a half.
Because I actually will leave now. I want to no, really. I
know you should. You should definitely get around.
Yeah, so have a good time.
Yeah, thanks for
And
coming
have
by,
a good
man.
live stream with Will.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right, see you, Mike. Okay, it's just me again. I know, not as exciting, but have there been any questions or things
Nothing on Facebook.
from people? There's still people watching.
7 people are watching live.
8 people now. Hi.
Hi, Deutsch? Okay. English is okay. You just have to ask before. I'm here about Travel Massive all the time.
But I have never been to any events or have done anything with you in the past. I just wanted to give a business card and maybe say I would be interested to participate. I've done some speaker stuff in different events. I'm Instagrammer. Yes.
Okay,
Awesome.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, and one of the teams I'm focusing on the next ones, I am in May in a festival in Croatia.
Okay.
Only for aspiring bloggers and Instagrammers, women, only females. And I will be talking about the ugly side.
Oh, okay.
And everybody tells me, come speak in our event, talk about how to make money with Instagram. I said, no, everybody talks about it. Let me talk about depression, what makes you sad. Because if I knew that I had a problem because of Instagram, if I knew that I would have avoided, and I want to tell people it's not the dream job everybody thinks, and there's an ugly side about it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I am focusing on now, to just tell people about all the sides.
So we do have a lot of content creators on Travel Massive. So maybe you can say more details about your event and when and where are you speaking, so people from Travel Massive can join us.
Not only that, actually, that was not the first thing, but that's a good idea.
Yeah.
What I thought is, if maybe in one of the events you were participating, you wanted to have me there as a part of your
why not?
schedule or something.
Where are you based?
In Cologne.
In Cologne? There is a chapter in Cologne and Düsseldorf, but Berlin chapter is very active. So Lisa is the chapter leader, she's here.
Okay.
And then you can also talk with her for any future opportunities.
Yeah, maybe you see in something you are organizing an opportunity or it fits, maybe.
I think the next event for Berlin is actually for content creation in April, so they do have something. So you can check on the website as well what is the exact topic for the event.
Yeah, I think I read something about a future event. That's the reason I said that we just come by and ask.
Well,
you can attend the event and then you can.
Well, Lisa,
Of course,
what is the process if so Liza is a speaker?
Well, I'm not a speaker.
Well,
I'm an Instagrammer.
Yes,
I
but
speak sometimes.
but she speaks.
Well, I speak too
Yes.
much sometimes.
She speaks.
I speak, yes.
So I think she has like a really good. You've been doing great presentations and talking about.
And lately is people ask me to talk how to make money off Instagram because it's my full job since 1.5 years.
Okay, great.
But I try to avoid that because it's like a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to bring awareness about the ugly side.
Okay.
To
I
talk
think that's important
to
too.
people about mistakes they can avoid when they are starting blogs, starting Instagram, mistakes I've done.
Yeah.
And I had a short problem. I had 1 month offline because I was just going crazy with Instagram.
Yeah.
So I want to show people that you can control that if you know it's gonna happen. I didn't know.
I think that's
like the ugly truth, the ugly side about that.
I think like doing like a how to be a successful but sane blogger.
But sane, yeah, that's
I
very
think
good.
it's like
Yeah.
a really good topic that a lot of people will probably know about because I think a lot of people just see like
Learn
the
how to
glamorous
say no.
side of things.
You don't
like,
need to go crazy. You don't need to
Exactly.
compare with the other ones.
Yeah.
You can take holidays without camera.
Yeah. I think that's a great topic.
Yeah. I'm based in Cologne.
Yeah.
And well, I'm traveling a lot, but I'm around. So maybe if you see a fit for that, we can talk about something that and maybe combine one of your events or things like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. So this is me.
Okay, Lisa. I am Liza.
Great. Yeah, so we can just email and see if we can get you in on an existing event or maybe create an event around.
I can send you like a short summary of what we talked now in the email.
Yeah,
because I know we forget. Yeah,
Yes,
I've been on the ITV. If I don't write something down, I just everything.
Yeah.
So
I like that idea. I think that'd be cool.
And then maybe if you see a fit, I would like because I was for 10 months in Southeast Asia, out of press trips, doing my sabbatical. So I want to come back to networking and participating and meeting new people. I was for too long, like out of the networking area. So I thought it would be a nice win-win. I bring something and I take something, and everybody's happy.
Sounds good, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we're always open to new ideas and we organize events every month in Berlin, so...
Okay, I send you an email and we'll be in touch. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming by. And that is how it's done. Oh, all right. Whew. Things are getting chilly here. What time is it? It's almost 5 o'clock. Still got a lot of folks walking through the Berlin Travel Festival. All of you guys that have been watching, thank you for being on the live stream. This has been really fun. Had a lot of really cool special guests and really talking about travel, talking about how ITB has been in Berlin. And I want to learn more about the Berlin Travel Festival because I haven't really had a chance to walk through all of it. I've only walked through a few aisles, I guess you could say. There's definitely a lot to check out. And immediately, I think, when you look at the space here at the Berlin Travel Festival versus ITB is that it's just drastically different. ITB being very much a trade festival, or not even a festival, trade show conference, it's all about business. Everyone's going from booth to booth, hall to hall, to talk to others, closing deals, I suppose, and things like that. And then you come over here and just a much more social, lively event. People are doing yoga. They're different. Just checking out different products, trying different foods. There's really a bit of everything. It's I think the one thing that comes to mind is just like how colorful it is versus the very muted conference hall of Messe Berlin, which is where ITB is held. This is on another side of town. This is on the west end. This is the Berlin Arena, right? Or Arena Berlin? Arena Berlin. Sorry, East Berlin. I keep getting this up. East Berlin. ITB is on the west end, so on totally other sides of the city, but really cool space for sure. So, I need some water. I'll be right back. So this is the water that I've been traveling with for ITB. It's been saving me. How much water is this? This is... Why is this so hard to find? No. Oh, it's 1 liter. This is a 1 liter bottle, not 1.5. Pretty much I have a new bottle for, well, not new bottle, but I fill it up every day because just all the talking that you're doing out here at ITB and even BTF here, Berlin Travel Festival, I gotta stay hydrated, right? So, I mean, closing things off about, you know, my ITB experience, I think a lot of people that have come by have kind of echoed the same sentiments that I've been saying all along, in that, like, you know, I think, first of all, being out here, you know, if you just stay at home, you know, working away, and there's a lot of work to be done. I'm falling behind, you know, as we speak, but if you don't put yourself out there and be able to make that connection with new people, whether they're your colleagues or, you know, folks in the industry that you want to connect with, then you're not, if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to be able to make these connections. And so that's kind of my view on these events. You know, I knew that I wasn't going to be really prepared for ITB. I made the most out of it, but I still got something out of it, you know? And so that's what really made it worthwhile for me. All the meetings I did have, I'd say maybe 50% of them were good. Some of the others maybe not so good in terms of generating work and future potential. But I have a ton of business cards to go through, and I think that alone is something that I wouldn't have been able to do from my home in Toronto, if you know what I mean. So that's really the true value of coming out to events like this. And this is literally the biggest one in the world, so why not do it? All right, we have a new guest. Hello, hi. My name is Will.
Ariana, nice to meet you.
Ariana, nice to meet you. So thanks for coming to our impromptu little live stream.
Pleasure to be here.
So first of all, why don't you introduce yourself, tell the world who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So my name is Ariana, and I'm the co-founder of Green Fashion Tours. Green Fashion Tours is a company organizing tours and different educational experiences on sustainable fashion. So what we do is to bring groups of interested people, of fashion textile students, of fashion professionals to the most interesting sustainable fashion spots in Berlin and in Munich.
Okay, so it's just Berlin and Munich right now. Anyways, I'm curious, how did the concept start for you? I believe you have a background in this space. But how did it begin? Was it a passion project? And how's it grown to where it is today?
Yeah, so it all began in 2013. At the time I had a store myself, so I'm a fashion designer. I had a label, and then I opened the store. I had the store for 5 years, and at one point I was quite frustrated from this sentence I heard all the time by our customers saying, oh, I would buy more sustainably if I would know where. And then I thought, okay, I really need to create something so that they know where. And then I created this map, the Green Fashion Tours map. First for Berlin and then for Munich as well. The concept of the map is that, of course, our flyer, but also an open source tool for customers to know where to find sustainable fashion in their city. And as you can see, there are more than 40 spots.
There are a lot of pins there.
Yes. Here are our sustainability criteria, so the consumers, the customers, they can already inform themselves what does it mean sustainability for us, and then decide if they want to go on a tour themselves, following the routes on this map, or if they want to come with us and get to know personally the makers, the designers, the shop owners, and be inspired by their stories.
So if somebody is interested in one of these tours, how does it work? Can you book online? Are these private groups? Are these just general groups that open up? Are they run every day? How does all that happen?
So the public tours are run twice a month. All the dates are online on our online website calendar. So you can check them out and you can buy tickets online. Otherwise, if you are an organized group and you come to Berlin or to Munich, you can contact us via email at booking@greenfashiontours.com. Everything is on the website, of course. And then we organize a tailored experience depending on the interest of the group.
Thinking about the guests that you guys have had on your tours, are they typically, you mentioned fashion designer students, fashion design students that come out to these tours? Are they typically just regular kind of travelers passing through? What type of folks come through these tours?
For the public tours, we have a very mixed background of the participants, from like expats living in Berlin and wanting to know what is in their neighborhood, to like just people living here for a very long time who really wants to know like what is sustainable fashion, where can I find it, to tourists just passing by and saying, oh, I want to know more about sustainability in Berlin, let's do this tour. So this is a bit more mixed background. For the tailored tours, like this private customized experience, we have, I would say, half are textile and fashion students, and the other half is more like groups, organized groups, bringing entrepreneurs, bringing journalists, and master students from technology, whatever, very different actually. But yeah, and we have, of course, also people coming from the fashion industry. For example, we have many groups from Asia. They want to know, like they want to be very fast in being sustainable and showing like how sustainable they're becoming. But of course, they want to get inspiration in what we are doing here in Europe. And Berlin is a very well-known capital for sustainable fashion. Berlin has two trade shows like focusing on sustainable fashion, and yeah, so it's there are a lot of buyers coming and a lot of people with projects in mind from all over the world.
So I know that when looking at the map, there are quite a number of sustainable fashion destinations and stores, I'm guessing, on there. Is there one that is a really good example of what it means to be sustainable in fashion that you could talk about?
So they are all very good examples. It's difficult to say one. What I can say is that there are different concepts. For example, there are concept stores that are focusing more on certified materials. Some other are focusing on upcycling or recycling. One example could be EcoAlf, is a Spanish label working also as a no-profit with their project Upcycle the Ocean. So they collect plastic in Spain and in Thailand, they recycle it and they make a fantastic collection of jackets like out of polyester and nylon materials. Yeah, so this is a great example. They also have a huge shop in one of the best neighborhoods in Mitte, like shopping areas, and it really shows that sustainable fashion can actually be very fashionable and without being like losing an image just because they are sustainable. Another example could be Folk Days. It's a beautiful small store in Kreuzberg. They are also, this is a flagship store for the label Folk Days. They produce in 25 different countries around the world, and they support local craftsmanship. So like they try to keep alive traditional crafts that are going to be lost if people
with the new generation. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, cool. And so just to remind everyone where they can find out about all the tours, if they want to have an experience with you guys, where should they go?
Yeah, they should go online or on our social media. greenfashiontours.com is our website. Green Fashion Tours is our Instagram account and Facebook. Yeah, just find us online and write to us. We're very happy to answer.
And last random question I've been asking people, what is your favorite cheese?
My favorite cheese? Oh, I would say gorgonzola. I'm Italian.
Amazing. Well, thank you for dropping by. It was great chatting with you. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao. We should. It's like a cheese survey. Yeah, top cheeses in the world.
What do we have so far?
We have goat cheese. at Gorgonzola. I've only asked 2, so we need to talk to more people. What's yours, Lisa?
Maybe Brie.
Brie? Okay, Brie. I do like Brie, yes.
We have a new person to ask about cheese.
Oh.
We have a cheese survey.
It's Taru.
Yes, what's going on?
Nothing much. I'm just holding a microphone for fun. This is what I do. I don't know what that is, actually. Do you want to come by and talk about what you do?
Yes.
And
Are
the
you
exciting
always, like, live
things?
now?
I've been live for almost 2 hours. It's kind of crazy. I'm very
When
tired.
did you start?
3-ish, 4 o'clock. Because I came from ITB, I had some meetings, and then I came straight here. I took the shuttle and set up all this
Everyone keeps
stuff.
asking me how long does the shuttle take, so you would then know. How long is it from ITB to here?
30 minutes.
That little?
Yeah, it felt like it was only 30 minutes. Yeah, because today's a holiday, so it was actually okay. It left on the hour and the half hour, so I took the 2 o'clock shuttle. And I got here about 2:30. Yeah.
Okay, well that was
pretty good.
quicker than
Although I did fall asleep on the because I'm so tired.
Oh, you will be partying then.
Oh yes. So I'm here. Definitely going to the Travel Massive party tonight.
Me too.
Yeah. So how?
My eyes too.
I mean, okay. So we have maybe some people watching. Tell them who you are and what you do. And I know you're working on something really exciting. So take it away.
Yes, so my name is Tarvalda, first of all, so if you don't know. And we're working on an app called Wow Wonders, which easily kind of records your journey, builds a travel diary, and then enables you to share recommendations on hotels, restaurants, and sites with your friends.
And how long have you been working on this for?
We started the company in August 2017, so roughly 1.5 years, and it's myself and Maria, with whom we studied together when we were much younger than this, and kind of now we're building this new big thing in travel.
So maybe dig into this a little bit deeper. So for somebody that's using the app, how does it actually work? I know how it works, but maybe they want to know how it works. How does the app work, and like how does it make it easier to document, kind of like record your journey, but also on the flip side, as somebody who's looking for ideas for itineraries and where to go, how does that help that type of traveler and travel planner?
Okay, so basically when you're traveling, the app will identify when you're staying in a hotel or eating in a restaurant or a site, and then it will kind of ask you, would you like to add this place to your diary? And then you basically just have to give it a rating and confirm and add it to your diary. It will then automatically fetch information about things like the website and the location and so forth. The only thing you have to do is travel and take pictures and then confirm that you want this in your diary. Then how you can share is actually that you can just go to your diary, select the places you want to share, and send that as a website link to your friend. So your friend doesn't even have to have the app to get your recommendations, but you can share them with anyone as a link via WhatsApp or posting it in Facebook or so forth. Of course, your friends can also come to the app and see your trips there, but only if you make them visible, because we also understand that some trips, and for some people, you want to just keep private. So you can always decide if you keep a trip private or if you want to share it with your friends. And then like people like yourself, who is a kind of a more professional content creator, have also an opportunity to have actually public content available.
Okay. And how so I know how it works, so I'm cheating here, but I know that it's really easy to create these itineraries because everything is photo based.
Yes.
And because we're all taking pictures as we're traveling on our camera, we're basically uploading photos, and because all the geolocation is stored in the photo, it's really easy to pick up all the different destinations you've been, and that automatically almost becomes your itinerary because your photos really represent the places that you travel to.
Exactly, and it's also because we, of course, when we've been building the app, we've been thinking like, what is an indicator that
person wants to actually record a place, like if it's something that they want to remember. Because of course, when you're building your travel diary, you want to remember the special things about those trips. It doesn't need to be like every visit to the toilet or stopping at a supermarket or something. You want to remember a special lunch with someone or a special piece. So we're kind of like trying to help you very easily document those places that actually matter, not everything in your trip, but places that matter. Yeah.
That makes sense. So how, I'm more from a startup kind of perspective, how has the journey been, from kind of ideation to, conceptualization and then building the product, testing and iterating, all those things that come into Startup 101. How's that whole, you don't have to go through all the details, but how's that experience been so far?
I think we've been going through like almost like a textbook type of a process. So it was really about getting an idea. Then we did kind of a lot of surveys, interviewing a lot of consumers about traveling, industry experts, and then kind of creating a prototype. Then kind of showing that prototype, then kind of creating our first MVP, which is kind of minimal viable product, which is kind of the first kind of a version of the app. Then again, piloting with that version, then getting the feedback, then developing the next version, which is now the beta version, which is now out there and downloadable. So it's kind of all the time you kind of go to the next step, you get feedback, you kind of iterate, you change, you add and remove and do that kind of thing. So it's been a really exciting journey. And we've been in the beginning we expected that we would pivot, that we would change totally the idea, because most startups change their idea. And now we've been kind of waiting, when do we change? And why isn't any feedback saying that we need to change? Why are they actually liking what we're doing right away? So it's been quite weird.
That's awesome to hear, though.
Yeah.
Because pivoting isn't exactly a very easy thing to do. Yeah. To completely change a concept or redesign something. So that's great that you've gotten that feedback. Yes. And you guys just really continue to build on what you have and make it the product better, taking the feedback, keep working on it. Maybe switching gears, I'm curious how your ITB experience has been, and BTF here at the Berlin Travel Festival as well. How did you find it? Have you been here before or first timer? And we've been just dropping like random tips for people that are thinking about coming to ITB.
So it's our second time at ITB. The first time was extremely overwhelming. I was constantly lost, not knowing which area was, and kind of there are different floors, there's different halls, like really confused. This year, much better. I think the key thing is to understand there's north and south entrance, and kind of the distance between those is minimum 15 minutes. So you really want to plan your meetings so that you kind of understand where they are. Otherwise, you spend the entire time running around the entire huge conference halls. So that's kind of key thing. And then kind of booking meetings in advance. You really need to do that, of course, because kind of booking on spot doesn't happen that easily. Then Berlin Travel Festival, but kind of ITB is great for kind of meeting all industry professionals, and especially German-based bloggers, but also kind of from international. And then this is actually our first time here, so we kind of took a bigger risk setting up our stand here, because we've never been to the event, and we just said, okay, but it sounds like a cool idea, let's set up a stand. And so far we're really liking it. I think, it's kind of a lot of interesting influencers here, a lot of consumers, and of course it's International Women's Day, so we're both female founders. It's kind of a nice place to kind of be.
That's amazing. I had a question, I can't remember what it was, but that's okay. That's okay.
You've had a really long day.
I've had a really long day. What I was going to say is that you really notice a big difference between ITB and Berlin Travel Festival in terms of the energy. Not to say that one is bad, because each of them has a specific purpose. But I do like the vibe here. It is much more laid back. You're holding a drink here. This is not alcoholic, but it looks really good. These are the guys that do the Fritz Cola.
Yes.
Fritz Cola, yes. Which is awesome. And so you guys have a booth. Where can we find your booth here?
It's it's in the Nest area, which is the area for all the smaller companies and startups. It's the same area where you can find Travel Massive as well, with whom we worked a lot in the past. So it's kind of quite close to the entrance, and yeah, you'll see the big signs for Wow Wonders.
Okay, so to remind everyone, about the app and where to find Wow Wonders, tell them, where to go and.
So best way to find Wow Wonders is kind of going wowwonders.com and checking out kind of all the details of the app, and of course you can download it in both for your iPhone or your Android devices already in the App Store.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tyler, for coming by. Really appreciate you coming by to our booth and hanging out, and really good seeing you because we know each other all the way from we met in Helsinki. For the conference at Ping Festival, yes, and that's almost a year ago.
Yeah,
almost.
We partied that much.
Yes, definitely will. Okay, thanks for coming by. All right, see you. Well, that was Wow Wonders. How's it going? I'm Will from Toronto Travel Massive. I'm also a travel blogger, going awesome places. I've been doing it for 7 years. And so when Ian asked me whether I would be interested in doing a live stream, at first I was like, that's probably not a great idea because I've never done any sort of live streaming hosting.
Me too, and I did a speech today.
You did a speech earlier. How did it go?
I don't know. I think it was okay. I was too nervous. But it was fun, I think.
I would be very nervous. I'm not really good on stage at all, which is why I do this, of course. But so tell me who you are and introduce kind of why you're here at Berlin Travel Festival.
So I'm Amelie Dörnberg from Women Fair Travel. I'm here at Berlin Travel Festival because we have a stand with our company, and we had a speech today about women who travel with Worldview. And also because we have World Women's Day.
International Women's Day. So today's everything kind of aligns. I feel like I've talked to a lot of incredible women that are here at the festival, and the timing is just couldn't be better.
Yeah, so tourism is the power of women, I think, And so it's a great place here, and we meet here a lot of people. They are surprised that we have 200 group tours only for women around the world, and we always have encounters included and projects which empower women, and also projects which fight against problems in our country, like violence, against violence against women in Bhutan.
So how did all this start? Are you one of the founders, or tell me the journey, the story, and everything?
It's a bit longer ago. I'm at the company since 3 years ago. My boss, she founded the Women Touristic in Germany. It's almost 25 years ago. No more, 35 years ago. 35 years ago, and in that time it was from the women movement. That are the German words, and so in that time there were the feminists and the lesbians who wanted to travel in a group, because in that time of
that generation, yeah.
In that generation, it wasn't usual that women travel, and women always had to sit alone on a small table beside. So in German we call it Katzentisch. They sit alone. They weren't allowed to go to bar, and they didn't want this anymore. They wanted to have a big table for them to talk to each other, to exchange ideas, and to travel on steps of women. 30 years ago, it was usual that you have travel offers which follow the persons in Greek, but only the male, Apollo or Zeus, but never Athena or Cleopatra. And they wanted to change it, so they did a revolution in tourism. But nowadays it's usual that women travel. Nowadays there are also different women who travel with us in the groups that are not only feminisms anymore. So there are students who are travel with us, women who are working so much that they don't have time to prepare their travel. And of course, women who are married and their husband is traveling a different way, and they want to interact in a group and exchange experience. So lot of different interesting women travel with us and want to discover a country on a step of women, not only the men.
In looking at the travelers that come with you on your tours, where are they from? All around the world? Are they from very specific parts of the world that come with you?
Mostly like from German-speaking countries. So the most tours we offer are German-speaking, except of Nepal, Bhutan, India, and some countries, and Nicaragua.
And are those English-speaking tours for those other regions?
Yeah, English-speaking tours where we have. So that are tours where we have very special tour guides. So we have always female tour guides. In some countries it's very difficult to find female tour guides. Like in Tanzania, it took years until we found one, yeah?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That's very difficult.
Yeah. But in Nicaragua, we have a professor for sustainable tourism as a tour guide. So that's why it's English-speaking. In Bhutan, we have a very good agency where we are working with. Yeah. And they have such a good tour guide, English speaking, so why should we use a German speaking which is not as good as the English speaking?
You've had a chance to go on a lot of these, a few of these tours, I presume?
Not yet. No.
Okay. Hopefully soon you'll be able to.
Tours in 30 countries around the world, and we are a team of 3.
Yeah. And
it's sort of difficult.
Is this your first time at Berlin Travel Festival?
Yes.
Okay, so
we actually wanted to attend it last year, but we were too busy with the ITB. But ITB, it's not our target group.
No, not your target group.
Happy to be here.
That's true. Have you had a chance to walk around? So beyond your amazing booth, are there other spots that you've kind of seen?
Unfortunately, not yet.
So like me, I've only been kind of in this area.
Here and on the travel stage. So.
Awesome.
But I will walk around. So.
Hopefully you'll be able to get out there. And plus, it's over 3 days, Berlin Travel Festival. So over these next 3 days, you'll be able to kind of get around. I've been asking all the guests that come here, really random question. What is your favorite cheese?
Cheese.
Yes. What is your favorite cheese?
Feta. I'm addicted to feta cheese. That was a very easy question.
We got a new entry for most popular cheese. Okay, so we have gorgonzola, we have feta, and we had goat cheese. So those are the 3 right now. I'm asking more people, so hopefully we get more.
I go for feta cheese.
Okay, so before we go, remind everyone, how do they find out more about you? The website, the social media handles. How can they find more information about your tours?
Actually, on our website, womenfairtravel.com, or at Facebook. But actually, the most stuff you can find is our website. We don't have any catalogs or stuff. We are online and have almost every week a new tour. So go on our website and you'll find our dates and our special trips.
Website it is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, online.
Thank you so much for coming by. It was a pleasure. You did amazing. Yes, I will. Thank you. Ciao. All right. All right, we got new blood coming in. You guys come on to the side.
Hi.
How you doing? I'm Will.
Francesca.
Hannah, nice to meet you. Since we have this going on, we're doing a bit of a live stream with our community really of Travel Massive around the world, and we're just chatting about travel and the Berlin Travel Festival, ITB, all that crazy stuff that's been going on this week.
Yesterday. Yes.
So why don't we start off by you guys introducing yourself, who do you represent, where do you work, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Sure. So my name is Francisca, and actually I was a Travel Massive member in New York. This is where I started to get introduced to the fantastic community. And then I moved back to Berlin, and also actually a very nice introduction to what we do is the fact that we both, Hannah and I, met also at Travel Massive in Berlin.
Yes.
And now we run a fantastic, exciting new company together, an agency called Space and Pepper.
Space and Pepper. Amazing.
And maybe I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Hello. So yeah, I got to know the Travel Massive because I started my company here in Berlin 3 years ago. It's still here an event and travel agency that is really focused on experience when it comes to art, music, crafts, food a lot. And I started with regular client travelers, and now I'm more organizing events with travelog.co with corporate companies. And we built 9 months ago Space and Pepper. And so we're all about building really community-based spaces. So we work with hotels a lot, co-living space. We have a lab of research around co-living space, co-working space, hybrid space. So we are really, really passionate about this topic, and we met beautiful people today.
Yeah, that's true. And we basically have this shared passion because a lot of times, I don't know about you, you probably also travel a lot. And there's sometimes you walk into a space and you're like, oh, I love this, you know, like the way the host greets you, you sit down, you have that perfect cappuccino, you have this little nook to work on your MacBook or whatever. And then there's a lot of spaces who don't have that. So we came together and said, okay, there's so many opportunities apart from interior design and branding where you can transport the experience that you want to give your users, and also your branding. Like, we believe branding and interior should be much more connected. You know, it's the little details. It's the way the menu card looks, but also the way the host greets you. It's a little bit, you know, the lighting, the sound, the smell. So we're all about senses, sensoric experiences.
So really, really about, it's like interior experience design. I don't know if that's, I don't know, maybe maybe that's what that's incredible. And you're right, I feel like when you walk into a special space, you really, it's hard to describe what that is. That's what speaks to the power of like what you guys do, because it's so, it not necessarily is something, one specific thing that's visual or something that you can feel through your senses, but it's a culmination of everything that happens, the synergy of it all, I guess, to use that word, that makes you feel a certain way that they want you to feel, in a positive way. So that's really cool.
Also, you know, and you might notice that there's also like so many hotels, so many new co-working spaces. So now a lot of hotels say, you know, we're authentic, we're all about making you feel like home. But what does that really mean?
What does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean?
Like, what really makes you feel at home? What really makes you feel welcome? So it's not just enough to put it in your tagline. You need to translate it into everything: interior, light, service, branding, social media communications. And we saw a need in the market for exactly that, because now spaces need to differentiate themselves more and more. There's like hotels popping up everywhere, especially in Berlin, you know? So we believe that the future, these spaces are able to really have a stronger personality, a stronger brand, through really focusing on the user experience and creating something authentic that you really mean, you know, that you really want to do.
Yeah, it's not something you slap together.
No.
Like, you know, not just through Pinterest.
No.
Pinterest designing. Okay, so I'm curious, without giving away too much of your secrets, what's the process that's involved if, pretend I'm a client, I want to make a new co-working space, and I have kind of an idea, but I really don't have an idea because I'm not a designer. Like, what do you guys, when somebody decides to work with Space and Pepper, what are the steps involved?
So basically, of course, the first step is to really, truly understand your purpose, your vision. So we really, sometimes clients have it, sometimes they don't. We really make a point out of confronting yourself with, why am I doing this? Am I doing this to make money? I'm doing this to bring people together? Like, what is the real purpose that you have? Because that is important, because your users will feel it. So that we really spend some time on that, and then of course we talk about your users. So we try to identify, of course there's always the market, but then there's also the personas. And from our experience, market research will only tell you so much about the demographics, you know, the income, but what are really the needs for your co-working space, right? Do you target more people who only need to work maybe 2 days out of the week, a little side project, or is it the ones that need at 8 a.m. a Wi-Fi and 3 meeting rooms a week, you know? Do they bring their own food?
Who are your people? That's a big part, and our approach is most likely because working with people, like the owners will be 2-3 people and their value is really important, like the way they work. And so we have a co-creation approach. So basically we start with a really nice day together of a workshop, and that's how we work.
Okay, that's amazing.
And then in the next step, just to finish this off, we really think, okay, once we have those insights, right? Once we agree, oh, a big part for your personal co-working space, a success factor is that you have like get-togethers twice a week, but you really know everybody who works there and you connect the people. And then we make sure you translate this into a lot of different sections, because business plan is one thing, but again, how are the people checking in, you know, like, is somebody talking to them, is somebody asking them how they are, so we try to look at the entire picture.
And are you guys really involved in the, like let's say if the co-working space isn't actually even built yet, or like really like the construction isn't really done yet, are you guys involved in picking of the materials and like, okay, this is the type of furniture that would really give off the right type of atmosphere and the lighting, and all the less of the, not the intangible pieces as well, the training, let's say, of the staff.
Yeah, we believe that. We believe that it's better if we start from the very beginning on building like the mindset of the staff culture, like everything that will be in the interior, of course, but there is so much than that to build a place where you like, whoa, there is something. I want to live here. I want to come back. And we create this retention part that is like how you build a community of people who like support you, but also come back and bring more people. So definitely, if we can come in the very beginning, it's the best approach.
And you guys are based in Berlin.
Yes.
And does that mean most of your clients that you're looking for in terms of business are based in Berlin area, or you guys are open to anywhere?
Actually, our last clients are in Berlin, a concept store around plant-based products. Another one is in Mexico, Eco Lodge Ranch in Chiapas, and the third one is in Lisbon. So we would love to start in Berlin and also like in Europe.
But we noticed that a lot of the work that we do, you don't really need to be there. I mean, yes, again, we're not an interior design agency, but we really focus on the targeting, the user targeting, and the strategy behind it. So ideally, we can visit our clients once or twice, but it's really very conceptual work, you know? Because then there are the people who operate everything and who make sure that this is the way your business card looks or whatever, and it's placed over there. But we're much more in the conceptual part, because we believe that users more and more buy into your identity. You know, branding is replaceable. It can be nice, can be less nice, you know, but like to really have a purpose and an identity that people believe in. Yep. That is so important, but that's easier said than done. So we try to make sure that it all goes smoothly.
Switching gears a little bit then, how has your ITB Berlin Travel Festival experience been so far? First time, or you guys have done many of these? What has it been like these past couple days?
So for me, like in a few sentences, ITB. So that was the first time for ITB and also Berlin Travel Festival. It's really different vibes, but I felt that it was really interesting to get in touch with the human behind a place, a company, a travel agency that brings so much to be like, either you know that you're gonna collaborate, or either it's a nice casual conversation of 5 minutes. I have to admit that ITB was a lot, like in terms of space, it's like huge. Here it's a bit more casual, but pretty nice from our business perspective.
Yeah, I have been to ITB before. I also worked in hospitality when I lived in New York, so I was there also, not at ITB, but at other trade shows as an exhibitor. I have to say, since we're all about user experience, the area at ITB is really a lot. You know, it's huge, artificial light, like 28 walls, and you're like, everybody's just navigating, wayfinding. So it's not a really good experience, and you can also tell that people actually here at Berlin Travel Festival are much more relaxed. I mean, today is International Women's Day, people are having cocktails, people are like talking in a more personal, casual environment, and that for the purpose that we're here, it made it also easier to connect with people, to really talk about what is the brand all about, what do you want to reach, than having a very formal setting.
Yeah. Yes. And in terms of sustainability also, like if ITB people hear us, we would love to work with you on this part. That will be also like how to change a bit the guest experience, that when you arrive at the ITB, how you connect with the people, how you use also like your badge, like everything.
I did, yes.
A lot of print stuff. I don't know if you're feeling it, like everybody gets plastic, you know, a lot of print. It feels like a little behind.
I refused. I really didn't want any, paper or plastics really at the event. But the experience coming in, you were talking about it earlier, it really felt like there wasn't much of an experience coming in, because I came in from the South Hall, and it was basic. The feeling that I got from ITB in some ways is like, fend for yourself. Everyone just enter in, and then it's like, okay, go, and like, I'll see you later. I don't want to talk to you.
100. Okay, well, like, so it's
Hall
great to
5.3.
get in contact, yeah. So it's great to get in contact, but it could be better.
Yeah, there could be quicker fixes, and I really think in terms of sustainability, they had great events and talks about sustainability.
Talk about it, yes.
But then every booth has like their printouts, their brochures, and I just feel like I would love to see them getting like a little more behind that, and really reducing paper where they can.
And we're talking about innovation, and like there was so much talk about like the events of the future, like the experience of the future. Let's do it.
Like actually make it happen, right? Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, well, thanks so much for taking your time for being out here. I really do appreciate it. For everyone watching, like, where can they find out more about you? Social media, website, all those things. How to get in touch?
And pepper.com.
So
Space and pepper. So our idea is to like bring the personality, the spice to your space. So it's not salt and pepper. It's spaceandpepper.com.
And when it's it's not ampersand. Like it's the AND.
Yes.
Like space and no dashes or anything like that.
Spaceandpepper.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Okay, so last question. I've been trying to remember to ask everyone, and I remember now. What, for each one of you guys, what is your favorite cheese? Cheese. Fromage. Cheese.
That's like switching gears.
Cheese is my life.
French
I'm from Paris. I'm French, so we can do also a podcast about cheese.
All right,
but that's not the idea.
We have another hour. We have another hour.
A brie Savarin that is with truffle in the middle.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I had this yesterday at a fantastic Italian restaurant, Mozza Place, in Berlin, and I know exactly what you mean.
There is this cheese in Berlin.
But it's not a brie, it's a little hard cheese. Okay, we're gonna get into this.
What is, so say it again, what type of cheese is that?
Brie Savarin with truffle. So
it's brie? So it's brie?
Yeah, but in a really good way, with truffle in the middle.
Brie and truffle, oh my gosh.
I think you can finish all of the questions. You have.
I wish we had like a platter of cheese that we could just, and we could be eating cheese and like talking about travel and everything. And for you, would
okay, no, I will say this might sound not as fancy, but I really like a good feta cheese.
Good feta? No, you're the second one that said feta,
like
so.
After Hannah, I'm now like the downgrade.
Feta is a good classic. I mean.
She's judging right now, totally. Okay, well, thanks so much again.
Thank you. And have a lot of fun tonight for the remainder.
Yes, absolutely. Are you guys? Yes, this is my business card.
Perfect. Let's get in touch.
Are you guys are coming to the party?
We just learned about it from Lisa, so we made other plans, and now we're in big regret.
Yeah.
Over this.
But see around.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Thank you. Take care. Okay. Cheese. You made it happen. You inspired me, planted the seed. Talking about cheese. This is... What time is it right now? It's almost 6 o'clock. Wow. And we still have 9 people watching? That's crazy. We haven't scared anybody off yet with our random chats here today. But really, honestly, thank you guys. Again, we are at the Berlin Travel Festival. This is the Travel Massive table that we have here, 5.01. We're pretty much right at the entrance. Travel Massive is going to be here for the next 3 days until Sunday. There's a lot happening here, and you've heard a lot about the festival that's happening, the Berlin Travel Festival. There's a lot to see, completely different atmosphere from ITB. Come here, lots to check out in terms of, you know, things like new products in the travel space, different tours, learning about women in travel and kind of where that is really changing the landscape of travel. Lots of food, drink. I don't know. You've been around the space. What should I be checking out?
I have just checked out the left side, actually, of this huge location. But there's like pin camp. Well, actually, because my classmate is working there as well. But it's quite interesting if you want to go like on a camping trip with your car or whatever. You can just check out Pin Camp. It's quite new from ADAC in Germany.
This is Heim Planet, or Heim Planet, or a different camp.
It's just like it's like supposed to develop an app where you can find places where you can go to for camping. You know, like when you're on the road and you'll be like, oh, it's nice here. Let's find a camping spot. Just go on that app and then you can find.
It's cool. I will check it out. Yeah, see that idea in there for you guys to check out. All right, we got another guest.
I brought you
several guests.
Yeah, chapter leaders from Brighton. So this is Becca.
From Brighton. How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
I'm Will. Nice to meet you. Becca, Joelle. Nice to meet you. You guys are both chapter leaders in Brighton.
She is a chapter leader. I'm the pawn. So I just I do what she says. What she says goes.
That's amazing. Well, this is incredible because, like, I think coming here, it's been awesome to actually meet other chapter leaders and folks that are really involved in Travel Massive around the world. I'm from the Toronto chapter, and I don't nearly come out enough to, especially more of the global events. So it's been nice to just kind of hang out.
A long way to get here.
I did. There hasn't been a lot of folks I've met from Canada that have been out at ITB or even at Berlin Travel Festival. So good to represent. So for you guys, how has your experience been at ITB and Berlin Travel Festival so far?
Yeah, it's been great. It's really nice to come to festivals where there's such like a mix of people. Like you have kind of tour companies, you have people that have done their own journeys, their own travels, you have like content creators and like products within the industry. It's good to have like everyone under one roof that can kind of help each other out and network, and
it's good to see where everybody is, kind of where everybody's thinking about moving onward next, kind of what new ideas are in the chain. So it's fun to basically come in and compare notes with everybody else that's kind of in the same area, and that's one of the reasons why we got pulled into Travel Massive in the first place.
Awesome. So we talked about Travel Massive. What do you guys do outside of Travel Massive that is in the travel space that got you guys in the first place? If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, we gotta start with Global Convoy, and basically we bought a 75-pound car and wanted to see how far we could drive it, and we ended up circumferencing the world with it, and that was how the Global Convoy was born, and we've been going ever since. And from there we met Hannah from Better Not Stop. She was the one who brought us in. She's the Manchester leader. So of course, chapter leaders bringing on chapter leaders.
There you go.
The community commencing, and that was kind of our
That's how we
introduction
started.
to the whole thing.
But in a nutshell, basically, we're a film production company and we run like small trips. So,
wicked.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wait, so you mentioned 75-pound car.
So like $100, like Canadian or something like that.
Oh, and just like went all around the world.
Yeah. Well, cars are so cheap in England; they're like almost throwaway. So yeah, we wanted to get one and kind of see, like, I don't know. As you can see, like the companies here, there's massive vehicles, and people put a lot of money into like traveling, like overlanding vehicles, which is fantastic. But it's not always available to everyone. So we wanted to see if we could do it in like the cheapest thing that we could find to kind of show that it's accessible to anyone that wants to try. It might not be easy, but you can do it if you put your mind to
It's
it.
possible.
Yeah.
So you said now you guys have kind of switched into more video production.
Yeah. So
right now.
we made an award-winning documentary about that trip.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
I guess sparked our like drive to turn into a production company. We're hoping to make some more documentaries over the next year, and we're currently just working with different like tourist boards and different people that want to get involved to, I don't know, I guess help promote like places you wouldn't normally go to, or
We like the obscure and the strange, and like really getting out. Like one of the places that we've focused in on a lot recently has been a place called Transnistria. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. So it's a country that technically doesn't exist. It's not recognized by the UN, but it's very much its own place. Like it has its own government, its own money.
Body,
we had the pleasure to go there last May, and get to experience it, and it was amazing. So it's things like that, but we really like kind of like biting into and really getting to know the area and kind of experience it. And if we can tell a story about that, then that's something that we're trying to kind of focus in on and work with other people to make that story kind of come to life.
So this is going to be a brand new documentary that you guys are going to work on. Is that what you're thinking, or?
hopefully, we've got a few ideas. We're not sure yet.
Okay. Well, we'll keep that a secret for now.
What comes
There's so many things we want to do.
We don't want to say anything that's not going to come to fruition yet. So.
And it'll be the same vehicle that will be going on this adventure, or there's going to be a new one?
This is going to be different vehicles.
I was going to say, since we did that trip, we've now ran smaller trips. So that trip was just under a year long, which most people can't sort of take off of work. So last May we ran a 1-month-long trip with different vehicles. And we're doing another one again this year to kind of get people out and to give them like the taste of overlanding, like a bit of like a guide to kind of like if you want to take a vehicle out of the country, like what like documentation you need, what to expect when you get to other borders with insurance.
Oh, so you guys are actually helping people have very similar experiences as well. That's another part of what you guys do.
We're there. Like we're very loose. We don't like the term guide because we're definitely not guides. Everybody's on their own. We're very good
instigators of stuff.
Because you don't like this is like as far out of your comfort zone I think as you can almost get, because you're getting into cars with strangers. You're constantly interacting with people that you don't speak their language or have any concept, kind of. So it's really kind of pushing the limits that's there as well as like trying to keep it in a decent place, because we've done it before, so we know kind of like where to push and where not to push, and like doing things as a big group, it just makes everything so much better and it's so much more fun, and safety in numbers as well, kind of side scenario. So it's something we really enjoy and we hope to be able to continue to do.
Okay. Switching gears a little, I just want to ask you guys a quick question about your chapter.
Yeah.
How's the community like? And the makeup of the community, the type of events you guys have been able to run as chapter leader and subordinate minion possibly. How is the Manchester?
We run the Brighton chapter.
The Brighton, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's good. So I took over in December last year, so I'm quite like new to the group. It's good. I think there hasn't been a huge amount of meetups, so it's kind of like trying to get the momentum going again. Yeah. So if anyone from Brighton is watching this, come to a meetup, please. So we've ran 2 meetups. We did one just before Christmas, which got quite a few people coming in, and it was nice to kind of see. So I grew up near Brighton, and it just like that's kind of where we've based ourselves now. So it's nice to meet people in what I consider like my home. Like my hometown, and kind of see what people are doing, because we're so close to London that London's kind of almost spread down to Brighton. So there's a good mix of like people in different industries within the travel industry. content creators, people that work for tour companies, and yeah, it's been really nice. Like, I guess getting all those people together and just sort of exchanging ideas and talking about the industry.
And has it surprised you thinking about, your hometown that, there are this many, either like folks in the travel industry, whether they're influencers or working in the industry, like, has it surprised you the number of people that, are part of now the community at Travel Massive in Brighton?
Yeah, I think so. I guess maybe when we started out, I didn't really, I don't know, like you don't really think that there's a community for it, if that makes sense. Like, we only found out about Travel Massive last summer, but if we'd known before, then there's such like a big outreach of people that you can network with. And like, since we're now part of it, it's been really great to just kind of meet people, to exchange ideas.
Be able
We've
to tap
learned
into that
so
community.
much. Yeah, and just like, we've learned so much. There's such a varied group. We have a few bloggers that are sort of almost retired, so it's been really interesting chatting to them about their experiences like pre-internet with like journalism and things like that, and how now they've transferred their work to be digital and how they kind of find that
transition.
And it's been actually really interesting for us to even learn about how the travel industry has changed and progressed, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So for those that are watching, how can they find out more about you guys and what you do? Obviously, there's Travel Massive. Everyone knows about that. But for Global Convoy, social media stuff, website.
Website. There's www.globalconvoy.com. There's our Facebook, which we do a lot of Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook is just Global Convoy, and then same with the Instagram.
Yeah, and then we have our YouTube channel, which is just at Global Convoy, if you want to watch some of our small videos of what we do. So
yeah, that's awesome. Last random question I've been asking kind of guests that have been coming on the show, but what's your favorite cheese?
Oh, we heard about the cheese.
Fine question, sir. I don't know. I think it's we were just in Amsterdam recently, so Goudas are like, we've been having loads of Gouda, which is it's pretty good.
Good one. We got a joker here.
I don't know. It's, I think a fine. I'll go simple. I'll go for
Camembert.
Camembert, yeah.
Because you can bake it. Yeah. And it's fantastic.
That's amazing. I like that answer. Okay, well, thanks so much for joining the show.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you guys, eh? Oh, you guys will be coming to the party after?
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
Apparently we're running a paper planes thing.
Yes, there's a... Oh, you guys are actually doing...
I don't know.
We're helping out.
You're helping out, and...
They haven't given us a job yet.
Okay, we'll definitely see you guys. Yeah. Thanks so much, eh? Yeah, take care. Woo. Well, almost 6 o'clock. Oh my God. We are still live. There's still 5 people on, which is pretty incredible. Yeah, we can wrap it up, I think. You guys want to wrap it up with me? Well, it's been a fun, how many hours? 2+ hours here at the Berlin Travel Festival. We're at the Travel Massive booth. We've had a lot of fun talking to a lot of different folks from all walks of life. Those that are part of Travel Massive, those that might not necessarily know about Travel Massive, and it's been great. And my colleagues here, did you guys want to say a quick bit before we go?
Yes, I really enjoyed meeting all of the people who came here, who knew about Travel Massive, and also for the people who didn't know about Travel Massive. I think it was pretty fun. Also to meet people from all over the world. It was fun.
It's just such a fun show. Like, you walk in and it feels good, and you want to stop at every booth, and everything looks pretty and feels pretty, and so it's just a really nice experience. And I think we've really enjoyed having the booth here today. We'll be here all weekend, and we're getting ready for our big party now. So join us there if you're in Berlin.
Yes, so definitely if you're Berlin, come out to the Berlin Travel Festival, come out to the party if you're here today, and we're still here Saturday and Sunday. So I guess we're going to wrap things up. Thank you guys for watching us on this live stream with Travel Massive, and I guess we'll see you guys soon, hopefully. Bye.